please. In my career, I've been part of or witnessed some incredible tributes. But I have to say, and my friend Ed Markey, I've never witnessed a tribute like I've heard today. Jill and I are honored to be asked back, and let me say to those, quote, survivors, my God, you have survived and you have soared. It was worth it. I mean this sincerely, just to hear each of you speak. You are truly, truly inspiring. I've never heard anything so beautiful as what all of you just said. I really mean it. And you're dangerous, young man. You are really good. I'm serious. It's just absolutely remarkable. Governor, Mayor Walsh, Mayor Menino, you always speak well. And Tommy, I can tell you one thing. There's not a single person in here whose heart you did not speak to. They understood every single word you said. Every single word you said. You've been my friend for a long time, and the reason they heard it is your heart is as big as this city. And it's an honor to be with you. And Tom, the Boston Athletic Association, first of all, thank you for having Jill and me, but what an incredible job you've done and the One organization. I mean, this is an important day for the survivors, but I think you Bostonians don't understand. It's an important day for the nation. It's an important day for America and the families of Martin and Ling Zhu and Crystal and Officer Collier. This is, I know from some experience, this is a bittersweet moment for all of you. You know, those of you, and many of you have gone through your own sorrows, know that the anniversary that is, quote, celebrated and paid tribute, it brings every memory back in such sharp relief that in a sense, you almost would rather not have it happen. But as I said to you when we talked in the back of the auditorium, thank you for your courage. Thank you for your courage because, and I hope you take some solace, again, from the outpouring of love and affection of all the people of this great city and the country. But it's still difficult. I know that no memorial, no words, no acts can fully provide the solace that your hearts and soul still yearn to acquire. But I hope it eases your grief a little bit. As I said, it takes incredible courage for you to be here. And I want you to know that you're an inspiration, without knowing it, to people all across this country who've suffered tragedies and are going through tragedy. They'll see you, they hear you, they know of you, and the fact that you're here, I promise you, gives them hope that maybe they can overcome what they're facing right now. It's the one thing I think you vastly underestimate about what you're doing for so many people in dealing with your own grief with such courage. You inspire them, and we owe you for just being back. And to Patrick and Adrian, Luis, David, all the survivors here and elsewhere, you're living proof. You're living proof that America can never be defeated. You are the proof of that assertion. So much has been taken from you, but you never, never have given up. And all the other survivors that are not here, not even those tough days and you're lying in that hospital bed, I remember, and looking and staring at the ceiling and saying, God, I don't know how I can do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And wondering, how much more can you take? But you've mustered the courage, you got up and you kept going. And you brought an awful lot of other people with you as you walked on that prosthetic leg. And you're here, you're undeterred, and you're unyielding. That stubborn perseverance the mayor spoke of in the face of unfathomable challenge, that's just an old-fashioned word of mine, but that's just pure courage. That's just courage. My mom, and they kid me, I talk a lot about my mom, but my mom was a really great old Irish lady, and she had an expression she told us in the time we were kids, and I mean this sincerely. She'd say to each of my siblings, but to me, she said, Joey, you're defined by your courage and you're redeemed by your loyalty. The four of you are the purest example of my mother's standard that I have ever met. You are defined by your courage and you're redeemed by your loyalty. You just didn't say take care of yourselves. You've reached back to help so many more people. And the loyalty that you've inspired in this great city. And even though I'm not a Boston fan, I love you guys, man. What an incredible city. It really is. You are an incredible, incredible city. And I know politicians aren't supposed to say that you're not a Red Sox fan. But where I come from, the neighborhood I was in, if you were for the Red Sox, you got the living hell kicked out of you. So there was a good reason not to be a Red Sox fan. You know, you have become the face of America's resolve, not unlike what happened in 9/11. You've become the face of Americans' resolve for the whole world to see. You know, I travel around the world. I've traveled over 900,000 miles just since being vice president around the world. People know all about you. They know who you are. They know your pride. They know your courage. They know your resolve. They know who you are. And you know what? That's why the twisted, cowardly terrorists who acted here and other places do what they do. They try to instill fear. They try to instill fear so that we will jettison what we value the most and what the world most values about us. An open society, our system of justice, our freedom of religion, our access to opportunity, the free flow of information, ideas, and people across the country, the willingness and capacity to gather anywhere in any numbers and say what we believe. That's their objective. That's what they attempted to do indirectly in Boston, is to make us afraid. Not just Boston afraid, to make America afraid. So that maybe we begin to change our ways. That's the objective, the very soul of who we are. They figure if they instill enough fear, we will change. And it infuriates them that we refuse to bend, refuse to change, refuse to yield to fear. You are Boston strong. But America is strong. They're not unlike you, all around America. That's what makes us so proud of this city and this state, what makes me so proud to be an American. It's that we have never, ever, ever yielded to fear. Never. Just look at what you've done over the past year to recover from the attack. You've formed support groups. You've established foundations. Colleges set up scholarships, and local businesses have supported charity drives. Houses of worship have provided healing and comfort. And so much more. Your organizations like the One Fund have gone above and beyond to raise millions of dollars to help the families of the victims and survivors in the city recover and rebuild. And you've taken greater pride in the community that stood by you, protected you. Pride in the world's greatest doctors, nurses, EMTs, National Guard, members of the National Guard, veterans, teachers. Of course, pride in the world's greatest police officers and firefighters, who were mentioned repeatedly today. Last year, I had the great honor of asking to speak at the Service for Officer Collier at MIT. When I arrived in that field on the campus, thousands of men and women in uniform stood in line as far as the eye could see. It was incredible. They showed up because they share a fundamental obligation to serve and an unbreakable sense of duty. It's not just what they do, it's who they are. It's who Sean Collier was, patrolling and protecting the campus and the community he loved. It's also what Officer Dennis Simmons, who put his life on the line last year in a shootout to hunt down the killers. He suffered a severe head injury, and ultimately he has succumbed. It's also, as was mentioned by the mayor, it's also the firefighters, Michael Kennedy and Ed Walsh, recently had to deal with when they responded, Engine 33 responded, and their grieving families knew every single time they responded to an alarm, something like this could happen. Yet, we know there's not a single moment of hardship that America has not been transformed by, made stronger by. We know this with certainty because it's the history of the journey of America. And it's written not just in the brave men and women we've honored today in uniform, but it's anchored in the undaunting courage and uncommon resolve of ordinary Americans. That's the incredible thing about America. We teach our children this in schools, that these are qualities ingrained in our national character, stamped into our DNA. They animate our national identity, and they continue to define who we are. In last year's marathon, the whole world witnessed ordinary citizens doing extraordinary things. Shopkeepers delivering blankets and water, doctors running through the finish line to the hospital to care for the people who've been wounded. Residents and store owners opening their doors to folks for shelter. And what has become an iconic photograph is Carlos in his cowboy hat, pushing Jeff Bauman off the scene after having both broken legs. That photograph, that picture is hanging on walls around the world. Carlos did what you Bostonians do and Americans do. Carlos ran to him rather than from him. The normal human instinct is to run from, not to. He wasn't a firefighter. He wasn't a trained medic. He wasn't a police officer. But yet he instinctively. That's what Bostonians do. That's what Bostonians did. That's what the whole world saw. That's what America does. And next Monday, on Patriots Day, when I'm told up to 36,000 people line up to start the marathon, you will send a resounding message around the world, not just to the rest of the world, but to the terrorists, that we will never yield. We will never cower. America will never, ever, ever stand down. We are Boston. We are America. We respond. We endure. We overcome. And we own the finish line. God bless you all. And may God protect our troops.